Hello. All right. So for today, what we're going to do is I really hope you can hear me. Hello. Hello. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this and move these things over. So there's been a lot of confusion as how to correspond meters cubed to centimeters cubed. Now, this is actually a very simple calculation. So there's three different ways you can think about this. You can think of it as a meter times a meter times a meter to get to a cm times cm times cm. Or better yet, you can think of it as meters cubed to centimeters cubed. So what do I mean by this? Well, to put it simply, what I mean is if you have something like 5 meters cubed and you want to translate that into centimeters cubed, what we're going to do is you can just think of it as this. We know that corresponding thing of 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Or we can think of 1 meter as being 10 to the second centimeters. Or we can even think of 1 centimeter is equal to 10 to the negative 2 meters. All of these are correct in their own ways. Now with this, what we can do is we can say, we want a meter on the bottom and we want to end up with centimeters. So we want to put that on top. So therefore we could say, we have 10 to the 2 centimeters. Now, if you can tell, if we do this right now, we're only going to get rid of one of these. Instead, what we can do is we can have it be cubed. Another way we can write this is 5 meters times meters times meters is equal to, times, I should say, 10 to the second cm over 1 meter times 10 to the second cm over 1 meter times 10 to the second cm over 1 meter. Now what's going to happen is this. This meter will cancel out with this meter. This meter is going to cancel out with this meter. And finally, this meter will cancel out with this meter, leaving you with, you guessed it, cm cubed. Therefore, it'll be 5 times 10 to the 6th cm cubed. So what if we had something such as, I don't know, let's say we had something like density. Density is always in terms of grams per cm cubed or kilograms per meters cubed or grams per milliliter, which by the way is the same exact thing as these. These are equivalent. So let's say we got some stupid unit, such as, 1.39 times 10 to the 6 milligrams divided by 1 point, actually, let's just keep it as 1 meter cubed. So we can either translate this meter or milligrams into kilograms, or what we could do is translate this meters cubed to centimeters cubed, which is what we're going to do in this case. So what I want to do first is turn this top numerator into just grams. We know that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams, or 1 gram is equal to 10 to the 3rd milligrams. We can also say we have 1 milligram for every 10 to the negative 3 grams. These conversions are exactly the same. I'm going to stick with the 1 milligram one though, because it's easier to conceptualize. So 1 milligram, these milligrams will cancel out, and then we have to do 10 to the negative 3 grams. Then on top of that, then we have to do the conversion of meters cubed to centimeters cubed. Just like before, 1 meter, 10 to the 2 cm, times 1 meter over 10 to the 2 cm, times 1 meter over 10 to the 2 cm. Now again, watch the magic. This is equivalent to, I'm going to write this again. I apologize for the scribbles. It's equivalent to a meter times meter times meter. Therefore, when we do this, this meter will cancel out with this meter. This meter will cancel out with this meter. And this meter will cancel out with this meter. And finally, this milligram will cancel out with this milligram. So we're left with grams over cm cubed. So when we do this calculation, you can see that if we don't want to simplify it just yet, we're going to get 1.39 times 10 to the 6. And then what we can have is times 10 to the negative 3 grams over 10 to the 6 cm cubed. Which these 10 to the 6's cancel each other out because they're in opposite things. Therefore, we get left with 1.39 times 10 to the negative 3 grams per cm cubed. Look how easy this is. And again, there's another way of writing this. So instead of doing 1 meter over 10 to the second 3 different times, you can also just say that, hey, instead of doing this way, why don't we just say 1 meter over 10 to the second cm and then cube it all before doing all this big old calculation. Because then what happens? Well, if we have the meters cubed instead, the meters cubed and this meter will cancel out. So this effectively will go in here and we get this. So, and also this will also be cubed right here, which is the confusing part about writing it this way, which is why I recommend actually writing it out. If you have any questions, please let me know.